Luka Doncic has been the most impressive player in the NBA this season. We didn't think it was possible to produce the kind of numbers he's coming up with a few days back. But if anyone can do it, it's Doncic. A triple-double with numbers that even the great Wilt Chamberlain couldn't match. We'll take a look at his wild performances, the epic response after it, and also go through the other high-scoring triple-doubles from NBA history, starting with Luka's perfect response after his insane triple-double. What's the ideal response when you've come up with a stat line that no one else in history has managed to do? We don't know, because it's never been done. But Luka's response comes close to what we'd have wanted to say if we were in his shoes. After delivering the goods against the New York Knicks and completing a historic comeback, Doncic let out a wonderful smile as he sent the game to overtime. It was magical, and we'll talk about it later on. But what makes that performance even better is the real talk that came post-match. Luka's definitely a fun guy to hang out with. We've even seen his recent exploits. He's a class act, but when he was asked about how he was feeling post-game, his response was as real as it gets. The Slovenian star said that he was feeling tired. Very understandable. You've just played 47 minutes and made history. And then he pointed out that he needed a recovery beer. Some might say it's unprofessional, but come on, cut the guy some slack. He's just made history. He can't treat himself to a recovery beer? We think the Mavericks should have given him whatever he wants, frankly, especially some support on the court, but for the time being, they should get him any beer that he wants. While we're sure Doncic eventually got his hands on a beer, he also didn't go overboard with it, because Luka was back at it when Dallas took on the Rockets the next day, and came up with another triple-double. Madness. Moving on, a quick look at Doncic-inspired comeback for the Mavericks. When Luka Doncic took the court against the Knicks, nobody knew what he was thinking before the game. The Mavericks started slow, and despite Doncic's contributions, the Knicks had raced to an 8-point lead by halftime. Thanks to Quentin Grimes and Julius Randle's epic performance, the Knicks improved their lead to 10 by the end of the third quarter, and the Mavericks were staring into the eyes of defeat. In fact, with less than 34 seconds on the clock, the Mavs were still trailing by 9, and they needed nothing short of a miracle to force an overtime. And a miracle is what they got. Wood's three-pointer was clutch, as it cut the deficit to 6 before Doncic got an and one while falling and cutting down the Knicks' lead to 3, with just over 15 seconds on the clock. Miles McBride of the Knicks would miss one of his 2 free throws, while Spencer Dinwiddie sunk in a clutch three-pointers to bring Dallas within a point with 9 seconds left. The game would once again move into the Knicks' favor though, as McBride made both of his free throws to get the Knicks a 3-point lead. That's when the Knicks fouled Doncic to prevent him from shooting a three-pointer, and Doncic produced the real magic. He sunk his first free throw and then intentionally missed the second for a putback to tie the game and send it into overtime. The awareness and the ability to pull it off, we can only clap. What a player. After that, Doncic completes a historic triple-double. When the regulation time came to an end, Doncic had already amassed 53 points, 18 rebounds, and 10 assists. And this was his first ever 50-point triple-double. Most players would call it a night, but the Slovenian star knew that his job wasn't done. He scored 7 more points, outshooting the Knicks on his own, and grabbed 3 more rebounds in overtime to complete a statistical anomaly that even Wilt Chamberlain didn't manage in his outrageous career. 60, 21, 10. Frame it, boys. It doesn't get better than this. That too, in a total of 47 minutes played, and by his reaction on the on-court post-match interview, he didn't even know he'd gotten to 60 points. Perhaps that's the most important bit from his sensational performance. The 23-year-old was so focused on helping the Mavericks to another win that he forgot he was making history in the time being. That clearly shows that none of his sensational contributions can be classified as stat padding, as each and every point, rebound, and assist was crucial for Dallas to complete a comeback that has never been done before. In the last 20 seasons, teams were 0-13, 884, when trailing by at least 9 points with 35 seconds or fewer left in regulation. But Luka's Mavs made it 113, 884, and that is truly absurd. Luka called it pretty impressive. We're not sure it captures the full story, but again, English isn't his first language, even though he speaks it like a pro. Now, let's look at the highest score triple-doubles in the NBA history. It's only fair to take a peek at some of the highest scoring triple-doubles in NBA history after Luka's madness. So if you're wondering where it ranks, don't worry, we've got the latest. We know that Russell Westbrook is the outright triple triple-double king. But which player has scored the most points while grabbing a triple-double? Let's take a look. First up, at number 10, Russell Westbrook. 50 points, 16 rebounds, 10 assists. The outright king of the triple-doubles, the list would be incomplete without adding Westbrook on it. Back in April 2017, playing for OTC Thunder, Russell Westbrook completely exploded against the Denver Nuggets. He was unstoppable throughout the game and ranked up a ridiculous stat line of 50, 16, 10, playing only 37 minutes. He went for every single loose ball, grabbing every rebound he competed for, and it was truly a sight to behold because, unlike the rest of his career, it was a rarity because he shot over 41% from the three-point range to rack up 50 points too. Then, at number 9, Harden. 50 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. While there are other players who managed a similar stat line, and some went even better, the reason Harden's makes the list is because of the minutes played. He was on the court for only 35 minutes as he managed 50, 11, 10 against the Lakers at Toyota Center back in 2018. A plus 18 at the end of the game showed just how unstoppable the Beard was that night and just how good of a player he was during that season in particular. Up next at number 8, Wilt Chamberlain. 51 points, 29 rebounds, 11 assists. This is a freakish stat line, isn't it? Well, Chamberlain was known for such statistics, and it wouldn't be the only time he did it. 51 points while coming up with 29 rebounds and dishing 11 assists was almost blasphemous to even think about, but Chamberlain did it, with relative ease as well, playing 53 minutes back in 1963 to complete a proper madness. At number 7, Russell Westbrook. 51 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists. During his peak, few players ever made a case of being more athletic than Russell Westbrook, and he used that advantage splendidly well, particularly the day Westbrook made history. This was the first time someone had managed a 50-point triple-double in the NBA since 1975, and Westbrook did it playing 45 minutes against the Suns. He only got better after that, winning the MVP the following year. But this performance was one for the ages. Coming in at number 6, James Harden. 51 points, 13 rebounds, 13 assists. In 2017, James Harden was truly in the midst of his prime. This performance against the Philadelphia 76ers, though, hits differently when you realize that Harden scored 50 points, produced 13 assists, and also grabbed 13 boards, all in less than 40 minutes. Making the top 5. Elgin Baylor, 52 points, 25 points, 10 assists. Elgin Baylor remains one of the greatest players to not win a ring, and particularly in 1961 when he completely went off, scoring 52 points in 52 minutes while also dishing out 10 assists. But it was a proper madness in terms of rebounds because Baylor was also on hand to get 25 rebounds. Despite a sensational season, he couldn't win the MVP as Bill Russell edged ahead. Also at number 4, Wilt Chamberlain. 53 points, 32 rebounds, 14 assists. He enjoyed doing it so much the first time that he absolutely had to do it his second time. Playing against the Los Angeles Lakers in 1968, Wilt put up even better numbers in lesser time. He was on the court for 48 minutes, but he made the most of it, scoring 53 points, grabbing 32 rebounds, and having 14 assists. When you're bigger, taller, stronger, and faster than any other big in the game, you're definitely better than them too. In the top 3, James Harden, 53 points, 17 assists, 16 rebounds. Mike D'Antoni truly unlocked Harden's elite potential. Everything flowed through him, and he did a great job of that responsibility, producing epic numbers throughout his stay in Houston. This madness, though, was one that we'll never forget. The New York Knicks came up against an in-form Baird, and he scored 53 points while grabbing 16 rebounds and producing 17 assists in a historic night, all in 42 minutes only. The penultimate pick, Russell Westbrook, 57 points, 13 rebounds, 11 assists. In 2017, Westbrook deservedly won the MVP, but this performance wasn't pretty much what ensured it. The Orlando Magic, unfortunately, couldn't handle the heat that Russ brought to the court, scoring a staggering 57 points while grabbing 13 boards and producing 11 assists, only in 42 minutes. Also, the latest entry, Luka Doncic, 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. And, as we've already discussed, Luka's historic night puts him just behind Harden because he played an extra minute to score 60. But it's still an elite list to be on. Not to mention, Doncic is the only one to have at least 60 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists in a game ever. Finally, at number 1, James Harden, 60 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. Harden takes the top spot on this list with his performance against the Orlando Magic once again. He scored 60 points, grabbed 10 rebounds, and also had 11 assists in only 46 minutes. Undoubtedly a once-in-a-lifetime performance, which helped him win the MVP this season too. That's a wrap for this video. What did you make of Luka's historic triple-double? And which triple-double is your favorite from history? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this.